Hey there, Coach Pearlie here from Fit Body Transformations, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about shin splints. What is a shin splint? It is an overload injury to the connective tissue that joins the muscle of the lower leg to the tibia or the shin bone. Most often, this will be an anterior issue, meaning along the front of your shin bone, but sometimes it could be a posterior issue, which is kind of down by the backside. And factors that cause shin splints is the contraction of the tibialis muscle, that it's either too forceful or too repetitive. So basically what that will do, if it's too forceful or too repetitive, is it results in the tissue breakdown. Examples would be excessive walking or running or jumping, being deconditioned, so like off season and you're just starting your preseason or you're just gearing up for your race season. Other factors could be reduced ankle mobility, poor balance, inappropriate footwear. It could be weakness in the calf muscles or poor training techniques, and even hip and knee issues or the control of the hip and knee can make a big difference as well. So another thing I wanted to cover before we jump down into the gym is shin splints versus stress fractures. The major difference is the point of tenderness. Shin splints, typically you'll experience pain all along the entire edge of the tibia, whereas stress fractures, the pain is usually more localized. So let's head down to the gym. We're going to go visit Coach Crystal and talk and demonstrate about prevention, conditioning, and recovery of. Meet you down there. Hey, Coach Crystal. I was wondering if you could do me a favor.
Sure.
So I started talking to the peeps about shin splints.
Ooh,
and I would really like to do a little visual on the prevention of, the conditioning of, and the recovery of if somebody is diagnosed.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
So in terms of preventing shin splints, you want to make sure that you're foam rolling your body properly.
Typically, we would start foam rolling the entire body. There's a YouTube video, Foam Rolling 101, which you can totally go look at. But the one I find that people forget to do or don't often do is the tibia roll.
Okay, so she's going to support herself with her hands. She's going to rock back and forth, kind of really stripping that muscle down with the foam roller and grabbing. Now, this isn't always doable for all body types, so we can use the tiger tail, which looks like this. There's several different shapes and sizes, and you can strip down the front of that shin there in the front, but don't forget the back. Okay, so make sure that you're rolling out the back, because the shin splint can occur either in the front or the back of that shin there.
And if you don't have a tiger tail, easy enough to order them, but I'm sure you have a rolling pin somewhere.
Yes, rolling pin works just the same. Then we will do a warm-up. So the warm-up consists of doing ankle rocks. So 1 foot at a time, and you'll notice she's flexing her foot all the way in one direction and pulling up in the opposite direction, trying not to hyperextend the knee as you go. Okay, so we do 10 of those on one side and 10 on the other side. Then we've got ankle circles because we want to train in the transverse plane as well. So making sure that we're rolling in 10 directions and 10 times in the opposite direction. Then we're going to come down and do a foot pedal. Okay, so making sure that your back is flat, sticking your belly button down towards the ground. Yep, and she's going to pedal in one direction. This is really nice because it helps stretch out the arch of the foot. Okay, the whole back side of the calf. And again, if you're keeping that back nice and flat, you'll also achieve a bit of a hamstring stretch. So that pedal works well. And then, so that stretches the whole back side of the foot. And then if Perla stands up, we can do plantar flexion and stretch it in the opposite direction. Okay, this feels really nice. Make sure that you're breathing into it. The breath is really important. Okay, so back and forth there. Okay, so plantar flexion. Now, in order to condition, again, shin splints are more about overuse, the pounding of the pavement. So conditioning is important, but it's more so important to stretch and foam roll. So we can do calf raises here, okay, all the way up, and then also dorsiflexion, pulling the toes back. And you can do this when you're waiting in line at the grocery store, you're sitting at your desk. You can take a quick break and work on your ankle mobility. Okay, and in terms of recovery, it's really important that I know a lot of athletes don't like to hear this, but in terms of rest and ice, and you recommended omega-3 because...
Omega-3s are natural anti-inflammatory, and clearly if something's hurting, it's because you've got some inflammation going on in there.
Right.
So the best thing you can do if you have shin splints is rest in ice.
Yep.
You know, I always feel bad saying that to my athletes, but it is what it is, rest in ice.
Right.
Massage. I
Yes.
absolutely love this Caronaway CBD sub. It also has Korean herbs in it, and I swear it's the blend of herbs with the CBD that helps. I mean, within 5-10 minutes, you're literally feeling a difference. So I would encourage you to use this before your runs, or
Yep.
before your practices, or before your workouts, as well as after.
Before and after.
And then lastly is just to continue the stretching. So the warm-ups that we did at the beginning with the ankle rocks and the circles and the pedal and the plantar flexion, use those as you're stretching, and you should do those both before and after your activity.
Note there's a theme here, before and after. Take care of it. and
And-
then
Go ahead.
in terms of making sure that everything's moving properly, we highly recommend that people do an FMS, otherwise known as a functional movement screen, and that's something that we specialize here at Fit Bodies. And we do that to make sure your whole body is moving properly, because just because we have an issue in one particular joint doesn't mean that might be coming from somewhere else in the body. So it's really important to look at your whole body and assess that. So you can visit fbtnation.com to book your FMS, or you can drop a line in the comments and we'll get back to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach. Welcome.